what? What if the show gets canceled and you guys never get to do movies or anything like this?
Say that.
Yes, bitch, there she is!
They should let children out of school to see this movie. They should show it in school.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I disagree.
I am Iron Man.
There's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
You have to rock thong with this. Oh, no, I don't wear thongs. I have a very fussy taint.
Behave.
All right, welcome to the first episode of Not Ready for Popcorn Players podcast. My name is Johnny Watson.
And I'm Victor Higgins.
All right, and we're here to discuss the movies led by SNL cast members, just to see what they do, what they have brought to the culture, what they've expanded among the show and brought us so many funny and fun moments. And we agreed on what we would start with is one of my favorite movies from the 2010s. It just brings me back to a better time. It was so funny. It's chocked full of not just the lead, but it's got a lot of them. Of course, we're talking about Grown Ups from 2010, led by Adam Sandler. But Victor, can you tell me, there were 7 total SNL cast members in this. Can you name them all?
So, including Adam Sandler?
Including Adam Sandler, yeah.
Is it Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider, David Spade, Chris Rock, out of nowhere, kind of Colin Quinn,
Yep.
Maya Rudolph.
Mm-hmm.
There's one more, right? Or 2 more.
2 more?
We could get into it, but I personally didn't see him, but I did see Norm Macdonald was there somewhere.
Oh!
Yeah.
Okay, and who's the 7th?
I give up.
Tim Meadows, dude! Come on.
All right, yeah.
Of course. You couldn't notice him with the bald spot, I guess it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I didn't think you would catch Norm
He
Macdonald.
was too off the wall in his characters. I just like in my mind.
He gets to do a lot more in the second one, I think. But yeah, I didn't think you would catch Norm Macdonald because he was there. It was so, you blink and you miss him. He was at the water park scene. It was, and I was noticing when I was watching, I was like, wait, is that? And then he was gone. I was like, what the hell? They just snuck Norm Macdonald probably on a one-day shoot.
Yeah, I think I saw somewhere that like he was there for maybe a day or 2, but it just seems he was there sporadically where they didn't even credit him. So I think it's very interesting.
He was barely in it, but that's crazy. Very indicative of their era, though. That early 90s, I said they were all tight, and it makes sense that they would have brought him in.
Especially since Norm came like, towards the end of most of these guys' run, and he was still like bonded with them, which I think is very nice.
Yes. It was fun to see him. So, what was your relationship with this movie before? Had you ever seen it before?
I have not. It's one of those movies where it seems like nowadays, like Instagram or TikTok will just like show me like random clips of movies, and there was a lot of scenes here that we'll get into later that I was very familiar with. And I've always like known about Growing Up. It's just one of those movies that you're going to hear about at some point.
Yes.
And I was very, very excited to watch it because it's kind of like that. It's not an SNL movie, but it's a movie with SNL cast members and a lot of them, as we discussed. And going into it, I had a feeling like it was going to be that very goofy comedy filled with just a bunch of grown men acting like absolute idiots. And I'm glad to see that I was absolutely right. And it was like a ball from, I'd say probably like mainly in the middle of it. We'll get into it, but
okay.
Yeah, it was like a lot towards it, and it was very, very interesting to finally watch this movie.
All right, I'm glad you finally saw it. Like I said, this was just a staple of the 2010s for me. We would see it all the time. I'm not sure. I might have seen this in the theaters with my family. I'm not completely sure, but I saw it just so much. I saw this one. I saw the second one all the time. It was just so funny and goofy, and it was just really it was also good to watch it again because when I used to watch it, I was so young. There were some like more adult jokes, sexual jokes that might have gone over my head. But now that watching it, with older eyes, I really got more of the stuff they were doing. We'll get into it later, but yeah, I saw some. I'm glad they went both ways with it because you would think the guys were the only ones who got to be like dirty in this. I also saw some dirty moments from the actresses as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun.
Very bro-y movie, but for older guys.
Bro-y movie, but for older guys. They did. I do think they got. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. But I do think the girls got some pieces of this too. Let's get into it. And just for the audience watching, listening, what we're going to do is we're just going to break down the movie, talk about little pieces and parts of it, in between our opinions of it. And then at the end, we'll talk about how it may have expanded the careers of not just the lead, but maybe some of the other members of this movie as well.
Because there's a lot of big names, even a few non-SNL people. Though there are some people in here that are not like, probably like SNL legends, but they have hosted the show, which kind of does connect there. So yeah, a lot to look forward to here.
There is a lot to look forward to, yeah. And maybe some future host, possibly. We don't know for sure yet. Sometimes people have really, really long fuses, so you never know. Let's start, as most things do, at the beginning.
Let me just give you the top summary that Wikipedia has for the movie. That Grown Ups is a 2010 American comedy film directed by Dennis Dugan, someone who I've not heard of, but definitely is a name there. Written by Adam Sandler and initial former writer for the show, Fred Wolf. And I believe he also was head writer for, maybe Season 21, maybe 22 as well. Produced by Sandler and Jack Garaputo, I believe his name is. Starring Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Chris Rock, David Spade, Rob Schneider, with the females being Salma Hayek, someone who has hosted SNL, Maria Bello, and a former SNL cast member, Maya Rudolph, who I believe just left the show only a few years earlier. So very interesting how these 90s cast members are bringing a recently departed cast member onto their movie, which I think is interesting. And what it says, the film's plot tells the story of 5 lifelong friends who won their junior high school basketball championship in 1978, and then they reunite 3 decades later for a 4th of July weekend after learning about the sudden death of their former coach.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and I think we're finally ready to get into all of that. Thank you for kind of getting the initial summary in there. Okay. So we're going to start at the beginning. It's 1978. They're all about, I think they're in their tweens, though they may be teens.
So
they're
between like
teens, according
10 to 12. I think they said 12 at one point in the movie, so I think that's what it is.
Right.
Yeah, like really early on, like one scene between Adam and Colin. He says like, "Oh, they're like I was 12 when that happened." So yeah,
I was 12. I was 13. Things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 1978. The 5 friends win their junior high school basketball championship. They celebrate at a lake house. Was it Schneider's family's lake house? I think it was. I'm not sure.
I believe it was either Schneider's or Sandler's, and also to establish the character names. Adam plays Lenny Feeder, a Hollywood talent agent. Kevin James here plays Eric Lamasoff, a friend of Lenny and a former worker at the Ranchville Lawn Furniture.
Chris Rock plays Kurt McKenzie.
Yep,
and then who was
it? David Spade plays Marcus Higgins, no relation, another friend of Lenny's. Rob Schneider, who I actually had no idea was in this movie because I always associate Spade, James, Sandler, and Rock in this.
You're gonna have a lot of that throughout this podcast. He gets dropped into a lot of his friends' movies.
Yeah.
Like in just little bit parts too. Like he'll just pop up and they'll be like, oh wow, he just got this goofy scene, and just because his homies are in it, basically.
Yeah, and Rob plays another guy named Rob, a hippie friend of theirs. We have the wonderful Salma Hayek as Roseanne Chase Feeder, the fashion wife and designer, and the wife of Lenny, and Sandler's character. We have Maria Bello, who plays Eric's wife, Kevin James' character. Maya Rudolph as Deanne McKenzie, Chris Rock's character's wife.
Right.
Joyce Van Patten as Gloria Noonan as Rob's elder wife.
Oh
It's
man.
very funny. And
Very
we have
funny.
Colin Quinn, absolutely nowhere, and for me at least, as the restaurant chef Dickie Bailey at Woodman Eats in the Rough, and a childhood rival of Lenny. And I also mentioned his other rivals, but we'll get into that a little later because they're not like super important to the story. I feel like Colin's character kind of is. And we have Rob's. Actually, no, we'll get into the
Yeah.
children later, but I'll just
We'll get into all of them
mention.
later because that's where I thought there may be a future host in here, but we'll check on that a little later.
Yep. All right. Yeah, that's kind of all the basis of the character name and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, we open with them
Like
playing
you
junior
said, it's
basketball.
1978. They've won their junior high basketball title. They
Mhm.
celebrate at the lake house with the coach Buzzer Fernando. Right.
Yeah.
He tells them to live their lives in the way that they played that day, that game, to leave all their effort out on the field and have no regrets after the buzzer goes off. And he was very iconic for the something coaches do to just, get kids all hyped up and fun, right?
Yeah. And for me, this was kind of an like okay start to the movie. I mean, it was definitely amusing seeing the young actor who played David Spade's character in the
I
wig.
think they did
That really
cast
tickled
with
me.
good resemblance. Yeah.
Yeah. And a whole lot I had to say about it. There was like some funny bits in it that I kind of forgot about, but I know were funny.
I did.
And
I think it's funny. I don't know if it ages perfectly, but I thought it was funny that he was looking at the girl's mom as
yeah, I do remember that.
like, dude,
And-
who was that? What was that? One of the Maras or somebody? It was someone like a little bit famous. Or was it what's her name? The Australian.
Oh, I wish I took note of that. I did not.
I cannot tell who it was, dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then after we kind of introduce these four young ones, we then see them being congratulated by their coach of how like proud they are, and we see them at a table to really show like, hey, these guys are dynamic. These are our five guys who are in it for life, and it's very nice. It gives you kind of a tone of like what this movie is going to be. And I definitely think that's always important for any movie, just to see like establish these characters and see like how like they gel with each other.
Yeah.
And I got a question for you, Johnny.
Okay.
Who was the actor that played the coach? 'Cause I definitely recognize him in a few things.
According
Do you have
to
it?
IMDb, he was Blake Clark.
Clark. Yeah, let's check him out for 3 seconds.
He was.
Oh, he was on he played the dad on Boy Meets World, as well as a character named Harry
Was in
Turner on Home
State.
Improvement. It seems like he worked a lot with Adam Sandler too in various movies that I cannot find right now, but just a lot of movies with Mr. Clark here, and also is a stand-up comedian himself, and so that's very nice. Been working since
He's still
on
out
Joe
here too. He's going to be on Leanne Morgan's new show. Yeah, the comic.
Yeah, and it looks like he appeared in a lot of different Adam Sandler movies, including Eight Crazy Nights, his animated Hanukkah special he did. 51st Dates, a personal favorite of mine.
Ooh.
And that's what I'm seeing so far. That's My Boy, the movie he did with Andy Samberg. And the most recent one, it seems like he did. Oh, actually, he did three recent ones. He did Hubie Halloween, Adam Sandler's Netflix movie. Leo, the animated one, he also did for Netflix. And then the recent Happy Gilmore 2 was his latest Adam Sandler project. So definitely there's a guy there.
Got a pretty
Blake
good
Clark.
resume. Okay, let's
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
We flash forward 30 years in the future.
Mhm.
Everyone has grown up. I don't think they've all moved. Another thing I noticed about this, and we'll get into it as we get to the place.
Mhm.
Moved away is not exactly true for all of them, but at the same time, the geography on this is really weird with the stunts they played with it, and I'll get into it in my notes. So
Yeah, it shows that we see like their lives. We see Adam Sandler's kid playing video games, very violent video games, and he's very confused of what this is. We get introduced to his
but we see that Lenny is a successful Hollywood talented agent.
Yeah.
He's
Mhm.
married to Roxanne, who's a fashion designer. He's got
Mhm.
2 sons. Greg and Keith, played by Jake Goldberg and the late Cameron Boyce, rest in peace.
Yep. Mhm.
And a little girl, Becky. And they're all like super spoiled. Lenny's
Yeah.
kids don't listen to him and are completely undisciplined. And then we see Kevin James' character, Eric Lamison. He is the co-owner of a lawn furniture company married to Sally. He's got one girl, Donna, who got some pretty funny moments in this. His son Bean. Oh, I guess it was played by twins because it was just a little too young. Who still
Yeah.
breastfeeds even though he's 4. We see Kurt McKenzie, Chris Rock's character, who is a stay-at-home father. He's married to Deanne, Maya Rudolph.
Mhm.
One of my early notes in this was I thought Maya Rudolph was a little bit muted in the first half of this movie. She gets to do some stuff a little later on, but she's not. So and it's not even because she's like the black woman in this movie.
Right.
Because the grandmother gets to do such crazy
Yeah.
comedy in this movie.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I kind of wondered,
Grandmother
like, oh,
gets
hey.
to do some nuts shit in this movie, bro. She gets to be
Right.
hilarious.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, like, is that maybe just because the grandma could be that crazy side character, just saying whatever, and you can't really have that for Maya's character?
Yeah,
Which, if that was the case, that does make sense to me. But
yeah,
again, like, because Maya does like say some stuff and still has like those funny moments.
she
But
has.
yeah, it definitely seems like for the
not
most
as
part, the
many
side
as
character is
everyone
the
else.
grandma just really trying to,
Yeah,
bring it
grandma
home.
got to hit it hard. Bring it
Yeah.
home and then some, dude.
It just seems kind of thing you have to do for adult comedies with like a grandma and grandpa, just like to make them the most dirtiest person ever.
It is interesting.
Which-
Yeah.
Which like sometimes does work for me, but I feel like as time goes on, we kind of rely on that a little too much. Which
I think
is
it
like,
depends on who you are, because some people look at that and they're like, "This is gross out. I'm not into this at all because it's too
Yeah.
gross." And other people are like, "This is crazy and so funny." Like the thing with the foot being like comically big. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness! And the farts and the sleeping and stuff. It was a lot. It was cooking.
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, let's keep rolling.
Deanne, who's played by Maya Rudolph, primary breadwinner in the family. One son, Andre, one daughter, Charlotte. Now, I will say, I think China Anne McClain has put together a pretty decent career. I think
I say so.
I think there's an outside shot that she could host one day down the line.
Yeah, I feel there's a lot of like child actors, mainly from Disney, that I watched when I was a kid that are now like coming up so big. And while I'm happy for them, like it's so like surreal in the best way possible. Like, oh wow, I watched this person just not even like 10 years ago. Now it's already achieving great things. But
you were in House of Pain, and then I saw her on Black Lightning.
oh yeah, she was on the show. Oh yeah.
I could see it happening because I see it in the same trajectory as like obviously Regina starts out as a child actress on 227, and then all those years later she was able to host. So it's like I could see a world where maybe trying to host maybe in the 2040s, 2030s.
Yeah, we already had more recently Jenna Ortega host, and she's a child star.
Sure did, yeah. And she started out as a child actress as well.
Also on Disney. It's incredible.
Yeah, I could see it happening. And then
and also I want to know point about China Anne McClain. She also a Disney Channel star part of the sitcom Ant Farm, which I'm only mentioning because that has another SNL alum on it where Finnis Mitchell played her father on that show, and he was very silly on there. So yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I was a little too old for Ant Farm. I never saw all the stuff from it.
Yeah, one of my favorite theme songs ever of any TV show for sure.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so we have we mentioned
we're almost there. We're almost finished.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me take the last one where I say like Marcus is a slacker and a Lothario, which it just means very Italian. And Rob is married to his much older forefather, I mentioned, Gloria.
They are right. Rob Hilliard is a thrice divorced pacifist vegan married to his fourth wife, Gloria, who is 30 years older than him. And one of my first notes was, and this may get a little too deep into the real life of it all. I thought it was very interesting that Rob Schneider, given his current politics, is the wokest character in this movie.
Yeah.
It's very strangely aged. It's like, huh, you are that, and even though you ended up, it's something to think about. But I guess that speaks to his acting ability. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Early on in these scenes, I didn't have a whole lot to say, but I will say the scene where we're introducing a current Rob and his wife, where the hot ball was falling and fell on her, that definitely gave me a good chuckle.
They both screamed.
Sure.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane scenes. Yeah. They all become aware at the same time that Coach Brother has passed away. It's skipping it in the synopsis I'm reading.
Mhm.
I think there's a little to be said about Lenny's daughter driving the car, and it's so wholesome because she's like, they said your friend passed away and he went to heaven, and I wanted to put in the GPS to go to heaven.
Yeah.
That was funny,
very
but it
sweet.
was really wholesome too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah. Wait, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just gonna continue where I was to say, yeah, they all kind of the buzzer, their coach, fortunately passes away. And
they all head up to the funeral. Lenny rents.
Yeah, and it doesn't really address if like this is their first time hanging out in at least a good while, or they
don't
all come
actually
together.
say that. I don't think it can't. There's no way it's the first time since 1978 because that was junior.
Yeah.
That means they
At
went
least like since
high school,
like high school or college. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't even think that's the case at all.
No, but it's definitely been a long time. It doesn't say how long. Another thing I know.
I say it like long enough that they're now like seeing Adam's character, not surprised, but like are well aware of like how famous he is now. And
no, they weren't aware.
Like,
I think they don't know how he's.
I think they know how to respond to it.
Yeah, he's trying to downplay it the whole movie, but I think they know something. But he's trying to downplay it the most of the movie. I will say though, they go up to this 4th of July house, and they only establish that it's in New England. They played it really hard not to say what state it is because I noticed this throughout the movie. So
I did not make that note, but that's a very interesting.
I noticed this almost pissed me off a little bit. It says New England, right?
Yep.
I noticed at the end that it was shot in Massachusetts. Now, I'm assuming this is all supposed to be New Hampshire because Adam Sandler is from New Hampshire, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I look at the sports memorabilia and I'm seeing some pretty crazy inaccuracies. Mm-hmm. At one point, Lenny has on a UConn football hat, even though it's a basketball school, a University of New Hampshire shirt, a UMass shirt, University of Massachusetts, a Harvard shirt, a Vermont hockey shirt, a Rhode Island hat. And I was like, they're just really aggressively committed to not saying what state this is in.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like, I don't know what the reason is for that, but I kind of wonder if that's kind of a joke they throw it in there just to have you kind of wonder like where are you from? Like what is this? Where are all these state outfits that you're wearing, all from different states? Like what is this?
States. They basically cover.
Like, did you graduate from multiple colleges or something?
Well, did what?
Did he graduate from multiple colleges or something? Like what is this? Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's really crazy because they cover the gambit. They cover Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut. The only one they miss is Maine. They hit everything. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know why maybe they just didn't want to diss a certain state or anything. I don't know. But yeah. Also, I forgot this was a 4th of July movie.
Yeah.
It's very appropriate for us to be making this episode at the end of December.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I actually had, when I was watching this, I felt like it was summer. Because it gave me that energy, that vibe. And I felt if a movie can do that, it's a good movie. I definitely think.
Yeah. When it can make it feel like summer and winter, that's saying how much of the power.
Yeah, so like they meet each other and
They all meet
they
each
have
other
their
back up,
interactions.
but there's a bit of a forced time delay because Lenny and his family have to go with Roxanne
Right,
back. I mean, not back, but to Milan for a fashion show.
right.
So it already creates a little bit of a pressure time delay. Later in the movie, we find out that that wasn't actually the case, but we're not there yet. We're not
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Anyways,
And
they're
they meet each other, and this is another scene where like I didn't have a whole lot to know, but another case for Rob's character that I liked was the way him and Gloria just was kissing. Like that was just like what was that? And I believe one of the kids did something here, but I'm not entirely sure if maybe you remember
I don't
in
remember.
this part.
I do remember the funeral scene.
Yeah, I'm saying like right before they go into the funeral, like one of the kids interact with something. I think maybe like one of them saw.
No.
Um,
I think it's Lenny's kids that are acting up, just being like really tone deaf and spoiled or something like that.
right.
There's something crazy at the funeral, I think it is.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, we could just like go right into that. So yeah, the funeral's happening, and was the priest Andy Richter? I couldn't
Wait,
tell who
was
that
it?
was.
No, I don't think so.
It looked so much like him. I was like, is this? I was saying like, hold on for like five different people in this movie. I did not know were in it, but I was like, is this Andy Richter? I feel like it's someone who I recognize, and it might not be him, but someone who I've definitely seen somewhere on something. I feel like probably a TV show, but you probably got to
Oh
take that
man,
out.
I'll
Yeah.
have to figure that out. Who was
Uh,
the priest? I'm trying to see who it was. No.
but
Oh my gosh. You know who
uh,
it was?
who was it?
It was Martin Herlihy's dad, Tim Herlihy.
Oh, so well, that's where I recognize him from. Because
It,
yeah,
it,
I
it
was
does
also
look
pointing
like
out that
Andy Richter a lot, but yeah, dude, it's Martin's dad.
yeah, should also point out I saw somewhere in the credits. I don't know if he wrote it, but at least produced this movie, Tim Hurley, which makes sense because Adam and Tim were writers together on SNL. Like they wrote pretty much, I would guess, everything together, and even of
Probably
course,
not everything, but quite a lot of things. Yeah,
yeah, not, yeah, but like
yeah, and he inserted
seven,
himself into this.
most.
Okay, so
And
that's where it really.
of course, Sandler had his Hurley Ward character with Farley. So
Right. Yeah, that's wild. I didn't even notice that, but yeah, that is his dad. Um,
but yeah, the funeral scene.
the funeral scene where he
Uh,
falls to his knee, he gets extremely emotional for this, and they cannot, and then all his singing antics and stuff like that. Yeah, it's
um,
again really wild to see Rob Schneider play this kind of role where he really gets to show all out in this as a like I'm a deep holistic guy who has
yeah, I will
emotion.
say Rob had a very nice singing voice in this.
He did better than I would have thought. I will say.
Yeah, and of course, obviously he's friends with Spree, and they kind of dug off. I believe like Spade to Sandler, like bets him on something I kind of forget
He said
on, but and
five
he ends up
dollars if he
winning.
goes down to one knee.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And then like one point where I think Kevin James's wife in this is telling like stop laughing, and then eventually everyone starts laughing, and
Of course.
someone like screams out a name, which makes the whole church like laugh. And
Yes.
that was really
Yes.
silly.
Yeah, they
And
were being really jokey with this funeral. So after the funeral, Lenny
mhm.
runs into his old nemesis, Dickie Bailey, which is Colin Quinn's character. Dickie is upset that Lenny, because he had his foot out of bounds when he made the game-winning shot back in 1978, challenges the whole team to a rematch, even though they're all like super old. They probably have like
I bet it's like early 40s.
arthritis and hips and joints and all sorts of shit. But he still
Right.
challenges them in front of everybody at this diner, by the way. He gets on the loudspeaker, rematch.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a call out. Anyways, during the dinner, the group discusses spreading the coach's ashes, but
Mhm.
Lenny says he can't be there because of the fashion show. But then his wife intervenes and gets him to stay. What'd you think about this one? This scene?
I felt this was a nice scene. This was kind of the first scene in the movie. I was kind of really like okay, I'm liking what I'm seeing because the whole like conversation, like I believe like the baby was still like stuck in the middle, like because Kevin was like ordering for everyone all the drinks, like oh you'll have this, and just cut to the baby sucking on a girl's breast, and like
Yeah.
he'll have the milk, and it was nice, and this nursing with the grandma is just saying whatever and just rocking it all,
Rocking it all. By
and
the way, the grandmother was played by Ebony Joanne. Yeah, she was in Pootie Tang as well.
interesting.
Yeah, so
But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't take a whole lot of notes for this, but from what I remember right now, I did enjoy this scene. It was like it was a nice. I feel like it was another, even though we kind of know the characters. I feel like it was a kind of opportunity to know the other side characters of the movie like a little better.
I
So I
think
think,
this is the first opening up to the greater characters of this universe that's not just the big five and their families, which
yeah, like
ended up
Colin
being
and
a
yeah,
huge deal in the second one. But yeah, it's
Hmm.
we first see Dickie Bailey, and he's just such a gravelly Colin Quinn type character. You know, I've seen him play this kind of stuff before, like when I first saw him on Bernie Mac many years ago. But yeah, he's just kind of an aggressive New England guy, and he fits into this really perfectly.
Yeah,
But
interesting
yeah,
because I actually didn't feel that way that much. As I maybe because I'm only familiar with like SNL Colin Quinn, but I thought
yeah,
this was kind of a role that like kind of surprised me that he would do, and I'm not entirely sure why, but I feel like it's a very interesting role, and not something that, at least from what my knowledge of Colin is, not
mhm,
something we would see him in. Because it seems like this would be the type of character where you just kind of cast that stupid guy, like another. I can't really think of like another era SNL cast member Adam was in where you could put him in that role. I guess you kind of have to every guy that was at least up for it in 2010 that he worked with.
right.
Like I mean, the only person I can think of is maybe Mike Myers, but I don't necessarily know that. Uh, but yeah, it was a very interesting role that I didn't think Colin could do even with my little knowledge for him outside of SNL.
Yeah, he's always usually when you see it like in his, he's kind of he was like low key Bill Burr before Bill Burr. He always played these aggressive, deeply like not always Catholic, but like Catholic coded guys, like really just like blue collar New England type of people, and you can see it in his stand up as well.
Yeah, for sure, yeah, absolutely.
That being said, going back to that Tim Herlihy news,
Is Daddy-O who you call to get your job?
that's who she was referencing.
Yeah. At least she also said something similar to John, because Steve Higgins.
Oh yeah, she said something to all of them, but then
Yeah.
obviously had to take it back with
Nepo Truce?
Nepo Truce.
Of what
Leaving out the one person
much
that became a cast member.
yes, yeah. Man,
Yeah.
oh man, if only Martin had been in this movie as a little kid. I've seen that happen in other things where they're just in it as a little dude, and it's yeah. Anyways, all the friends go back to the island. They start talking about times they've had there, things they've done. Oh, speaking of one last thing to go back to. At the diner spawns the term chocolate wasted, which was a huge deal in the 2010s, at least the early ones. We used to say it all the time.
Just like a slang term I used.
Just as a slang term, just to be silly, to be fun, and talk about real wasted sometimes.
Oh
too.
yeah, I did. Oh yeah, I do remember. Like
Yeah, chocolate wasted.
That's what I was thinking of. Like with the kids, like
Yes,
they
that
say,
probably
like
was what it was,
being
yeah.
like
Yeah.
wasted. Like oh, it's when you get ice cream. Why be always do? I'll be chocolate wasted.
Yeah, it became pretty iconic at the time. Anyways, the friends spread the Brother Ashes. They start talking about failed marriages and all the things that's gone wrong in Rob's life. And then the other the other four start to realize, oh no, we've also had problems with our marriages and our lives and our kids being spoiled. He talks about having invited his daughters, which we'll get into very soon. But before that, they have to play one of the most dangerous games I've ever seen in a movie, arrow roulette, where they shoot the arrow in the air and Rob wins by not going for cover. I don't think he won in the long run, but the arrow impales his left foot, and it's impaled like fully through like the end of the movie. Like he is like fucked up, causing him to snap at Gloria, who rushed to his aid with unconventional methods. This
Yeah.
was insane. Cause
Yeah,
like,
it gets worse as time goes on, and it's so great. And in a weird way, I feel that's such a
yeah.
Adam Sandler thing to do. Just like make something like different and add like a weird, unsettling, unnecessary twist to
Oh
it
man.
to make it so like weird. Because I feel there's always two parts to Adam Sandler, where
Yeah.
like one part is the like goofy part that we all know about. One is like the very like unbelievably, I don't even want to say gory, but like shocking dark part of him that
Yes.
you're like, and
This
it
is
kind of
something we'll
it always performed
discover
with like
once we get to
emotion.
Uncut Gems, by the
Yeah,
way.
and he always kind of performed like those moments like with emotion too, where you kind of had to feel like bad for the guy, which I think is like an underrated element of Adam Sandler that people always
Yeah.
look over.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's crazy that they actually went, and I think what I notice now as I think about it, it's not no short-term injury. Like I said, he's hurt. You would, in a lot of other things, he'd be okay by like maybe the second to last scene of the movie. He has this foot injury. It's all wrapped up. It's all messed up for the whole rest of the movie. It's terrible. And something I wrote in my notes was, because the rules specified you just have to be the last one standing in the circle, he could have left before it came all the way down. He decided to stay in there the whole time. I mean, I guess technically the dog was there, but I don't think the dog counts as like a person. I mean, a dog
Yeah,
is
definitely
not a
not.
human being. So after the last guy ran away, he could have ran away too, but he decided to stay there. And yeah, no, this insane. It goes through his foot, and they're all like yelling and screaming, "Oh my gosh, get it out, get it out! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh!"
And they proceed to have a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely crazy mistake. They're very upset. He yells at his wife. He tells her how he really feels about her age. It gets pretty messy, and yeah, just really crazy scene. They also added in the goofiness of Spade falling in the poop. Them
Oh yeah.
tripping over the
Oh yeah, there's like a
dog,
quick montage, like all of them falling over something.
smacks
I guess it
himself
can
in
make
the
it
head
seem
with a
like,
branch.
oh no, it's gonna come for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, in real life, if an arrow was coming down, it would be like, listen, I don't know for sure how it works with arrows, but I spent half my childhood in Alabama. There was a lot of shooting in the air around New Year's and stuff. There's definitely some, don't be anywhere near the projectile when it comes down. So I understand where they're coming from with that. But yeah, that was so crazy that happens. Very iconic scene. Anyways, in the next scene, Rob's daughters arrive at the cottage. Now, obviously, Rob Schneider isn't the hottest guy in this movie. We all can understand that, right?
Yep.
So they obviously expect that his daughters are going to look more like him. It turns out to be a little different. His first daughter is like a really tall, hot blonde girl, Jasmine. His second daughter, Amber, which makes sense because he's 1/4 Filipino, was played by Jamie Chung, this beautiful Asian woman. By the way, I think Jamie Chung, not quite the same level of career as China Anne McClain, but a pretty good one up to this point. She may also be a future SNL host, maybe.
Now I have never heard that name, so
I've seen
I'm
her
gonna
in a
choose to
few.
believe
She
you
was
here.
in Lovecraft Country. She was a big part of The Gifted. She's got a few credits. It's not
Interesting how you mentioned all of those shows that I have heard of, but not her specifically, and that's interesting because I feel like she's getting like one of those actresses where like you'll eventually hear about her from something.
Yeah.
And and this was actually the scene where, because honestly, like the first like prior to the scene, I felt the movie was just like fine,
right.
and like nothing really like stood out to me. But this like was a scene where it's like, okay, like these guys are fully absolute morons, and it's like
Yes.
it really like gets you like. And I only love the visual of the first daughter like meeting Rob, because obviously she's like a few inches taller than him.
Yes.
And
Like way
at one
taller
point
than him, I think. Yeah.
yeah, I'll probably get like 5 inches taller. And there's like one part where like they hugged and like right on top of her wrist. And I love like when she was fixing the car and they were all looking. There's two aspects that I love, like where they were having the point where like they want to come up as two perverts, so like two of them look at the tree, two of them look back,
yes.
and, like look.
Yes,
like,
that was
and
insane.
then they all like look at the tree, like, oh, are we all looking at the tree? Like, look back.
Yeah, they're playing some really weird games with.
And also the boys, the little boys also getting on the fun
Oh,
too.
the little boys were completely
And
teenage
wasn't
boys in
me,
this.
but like it seemed like at either this point or like the next scene is where I kind of noticed like, where's Cameron Boyce here? It seems like he seems like he slowly fades away into the movie where you're not seeing him at all. In terms of like Adam Sandler's children, it all becomes about the other boy rather than Cameron.
Mhm.
Or and it seems like he's again just like disappears into the background where I can't remember. I think he did at least after.
I did
He's towards
notice
this point
that
in the
the
movie.
other kid and even his daughter a little bit, they get to do a little bit more than him. He
Yeah.
doesn't have much of, and I think there's like a heartfelt scene later with one of his sons. Cameron Boyce's character doesn't get nearly as much as
Yeah,
the other ones. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know how that all happened. Anyways, we got to shout out a little bit to the third daughter as well, the one that the the one that looks more like Rob Schneider. I
Yeah.
mean, she's
yeah,
she was kind of silly.
yeah. Having the exact same look as him, including the haircut, that was a cute detail.
It was a fun detail. I wonder,
Yeah.
I did say in my notes, I wish we could have gotten more going on with these. I wish had this franchise expanded more than just 2 movies. I wish we could have seen something about these daughters. I feel like there was something silly there. And then to have grown up under a wacky dad like that, there was something there.
It definitely would have made like an interesting comedy. I personally don't know if that could like
I don't know if
be a
any
show
one of
that
the
will last,
actors
like,
was
a
good enough to
long
carry that.
time. I don't know if like that but also I don't know if a show like that could maybe be as popular. I could see like that being like maybe like 2 seasons, and it could be like a show people are like, man, this show's underrated. Like they should have not canceled it. I feel like that's the premise like that going on as like season or 2. Maybe it's just because like people will see the premise and be like, I don't want to watch that, and it just canceled because of low ratings or something.
Oh my gosh. You know what I think? Had this movie come out in the era of like streaming that we are now, I totally think they might have gotten a show spinoff or something out of this. Maybe not from those characters, but from someone. Or at least like one of them, what do you call it? The mini series things out of that? Like the Penguin and the Knives Out show thing and stuff like that, where they just have a tiny piece of a franchise on the show. Because they love using IP so much.
Perhaps, yep.
Yeah. Anyways, they all start to have fun with the other kids. Lenny's children do. And
they
install the cup phones in the house.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He notices they have cup phones, like they're getting away from the internet and like actually do something that he probably did when he was younger. And
And he was surprised.
He was surprised by that, and like it was like delighted there, and it's like the great scene where he hears a fart and it comes to grandma. It's another scene where it's like, if you're gonna have the grandma on, you have to make her be a funny character, and like that's only she can't be normal at all.
No, she got to do so much,
and it definitely like worked for me a lot. I feel like it kind of slightly tipped a bit towards the end because it was just like, okay, we get it. This character is this, but for the most part, it definitely still worked for me.
Yeah, it still worked. And what else?
Lenny like realizes like, oh wow, like all these kids are all coming together and doing this thing that is bringing me back to my days, and kind of has his like mind on stuff, and he's like thinking like, like
And they
I did
also
this.
end
This
up
is
like
nice.
growing too, because
Yeah, right.
um Kevin
'Cause
James'
they
son
never
learns
like,
to drink milk from the carton.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one
And
scene.
then his wife, not his wife, Lenny's wife, Salma Hayek's character is happy to let them stay as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think now we could go into the water park scene because I feel that there's a lot of details that we have to get into. So
The
yeah,
water park scene is a very interesting one. So let me
yeah.
get this one out.
Mhm.
Everyone visits the Water Whiz where Marcus flirts with Jasmine and Amber, the two daughters, after buying them skimpy bikinis and the other one like a full show nothing bikini swimsuit.
Yeah.
Teaches
So
them how to drink the cow's milk. The families cause chaos throughout the park. Then that's an understatement. The wives are attracted to the bodybuilder and jeer at his high-pitched Canadian accent. This is where I was talking about with the equal opportunity, because they did have the guys perving on the daughters, but you also had the wives perving on this buff man. It just turns sour on them when he has this ladies
yeah,
talking
yeah.
like
So
that.
a lot of stuff happens here.
Yeah, Rob assaults a slide attendant while he insults Bridget. Eric ignores Donna's warning about the pee turning blue when it's in the water. The group runs into Dickie again, this time with one of his friends, Wiley. By the way, great use of Steve Buscemi. He's such a good little weirdo in anything he plays. And this is a great way to use that. Who then gets severely injured when he crashes into the shed on the zip line and ends up in the hospital.
Yeah, so yes, saying what my notes like in order of like this entire scene. I did like when he was asking like where he got the bikinis. He said, "Oh, like you're like the same time like it was like a hard place to find like the one place to find." He's like the one place to find bikinis in the summertime. Then he gets to the daughter wearing this.
Yeah, the other daughter is basically in a onesie and like a pajama onesie. Damn it,
yeah, and like the scene you mentioned earlier with the little boy finally drinking a carton. He just took it like, "Hey, here's some money. Like, look, work with me here. Go for another kid." And
he takes it from another kid.
Yeah,
that is crazy, bro. Like,
yeah,
you know what he said? He took it and then he said, "Here's $1."
Yeah, here's $1.
$1 for a freaking.
And I definitely like the pool scene too. That was very
yeah.
So I like that they established like why blue. Like, hey, you know they dye it blue to make sure anyone pees.
Also, I'm looking at how much blue it was. He must have pissed like.
And
he must have pissed like 2 or 3 gallons worth of piss in that thing, dude.
And were the other guys in there too? Do you know? Because that's all like they kept it like a.
I don't think they were in the pool at that exact time, but I think they were doing the other stuff.
Yeah, I did see like a few other people also have like blue dye around them. So
right, yeah.
And it didn't look like kids.
It was other people who peed. I don't think it was at this. I'm not sure if it was the other guys, but this part was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. This almost could have been the whole movie. Just them acting crazy at the water park. I mean, they would have had to put a whole plot behind it, but like just them getting into insane shenanigans at the water park it could have been a lot more. I think they fit it into a good amount, but I think this could have been the whole thing. It was just so much craziness at this water park.
Yeah, I could see that, and I think I actually agree with there. Like that, this could have been something that could have been a whole other. I wouldn't even say a whole nother new movie, but like nice side part.
I don't know about a whole nother new movie, but I think it could have been the whole of this movie.
Oh yeah, like I'm saying, like a whole different plot for not like a whole like new movie just based off the water park. And yeah, like they do a lot here where it wouldn't just get old, where you're like wondering, okay, are they ever gonna get out of this place? Because again, they do a lot here that it can still keep that energy, even if you like think it's about to get old. Like it'll win you back. And they go to the zip line, which is something that is something I can never do at all. Even from that, it kind of scares me. And It's like the two boys. It's two boys. We know it's Lenny's son, and then Colin Quint's character's son comes in, and like he was a Tim or not Tim.
Oh, he
Steve.
sure was in this. His son. You're right. Colin Quinn's character. Son was
Yes,
in
yes,
this.
Steve and another guy with very funny cross-eyed look comes in and threatening him again like they did earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
And
It is interesting the rollout of Colin Quinn's friends. You don't get them all immediately.
yeah,
Like, I thought, because I had watched this before, I thought Tim Meadows' character shows up way earlier than he did. He shows up literally at like the second to last scene of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought he was in there like the whole. I thought this rival friend group was in there. No, it's a very slow roll. You see Colin Quinn, and then you see Wiley, and then you see other ones, and then you see Tim and the big one, and then that's it. It's like they really don't give it to us all at once. And I was shocked because I thought they did, because it's been so long since I saw this before this.
Yeah, it does seem kind of like a Tim Meadows thing where you're not gonna appear. If you're gonna appear in a movie, it's gonna be either for a split second or like not even halfway through it. From like every movie I've seen Tim not be the star in. Like I've seen
Right.
Ladies Man, so I can't make. Obviously, that'd be crazy if his character is Ladies Man, he only appears in tiny bits of the movie. That'd be oddly hilarious.
Hilarious,
But
yeah. He does
yeah,
get to do more in the second one, but yeah, he does. I really thought he showed up earlier in this movie. I thought it was a whole thing, the rival friend group, but no, they're not barely in this at all.
yeah, and let's talk about Steve for a second because I think it's like Colin pressures Adam to ride the zip line, and they both say no, and then
Yeah,
Colin's like, hey, like you do it, and he's
you
like,
go
okay,
by your
sure.
feet. Yeah,
And for like for no reason at all, let's do it on my feet. And he said, oh, I don't know how to stop, and he crashes right into the
smashes so violently into. It was
yeah, and I love how everyone in the crowd was going, ooh, like every single person.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah. It was
that
amazing.
all the amused me, even though that's a natural reaction to seeing someone go
Yeah,
berserk.
dude. And again, such a Steve Buscemi role. He's made for these.
Yeah.
He's made for
100%.
these.
Right.
Okay, let's move on to the next scene. Deanne becomes suspicious of Kurt when she sees him spending time with we haven't really established Rita. So Rita is the nanny of Lenny, but he keeps
Mhm.
saying that she's a foreign exchange student. And a lot of this could have been solved with her confusion if he had just let her in on that. He doesn't let
Yeah.
her in on it until like a third or maybe even halfway through the movie, that she's the foreign exchange student, or that she's supposed to be one. And she
Yeah, he says
admits,
like
yeah,
he has to say for like her classes, and realize like she doesn't have any classes.
she doesn't, and she just keeps trying to serve them and do her job. And then
Yeah.
he's just like, no, you got to study for the big test. You got to have the big test.
Yeah.
And she doesn't start actually doing that until she's like, oh, well, I guess I'm not sure he ever actually told her that that's what was, yeah. Anyways, that evening, the adults.
Yeah,
have the
not a
dance.
whole lot I have to say about that scene, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty fun stuff.
Oh, no. There is one when Rob suspects that Marcus banged his daughter.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then he hits him in the nuts 3 times,
with
I
his
think,
bad foot. No, I think twice. I only remember twice with his bad foot.
because it was a coincidence that he was talking about a girl and got a crack on her head, and then she comes out with the crack on her head, and he
Yeah, this-
goes off.
Yeah, this like leads up to a bunch of people just kind of having. I could count this is not like wholesome moment. I feel like they're trying to have where
Yeah.
they end just kind of revealing just a bunch of things. And I love one point where Rob he's like, "Hey, I have a confession. It's not right here," and the girl goes, "No shit." I thought that was
Yeah, that
funny.
was pretty good.
And
Yeah.
I did also like Gloria here when she's revealed. No, when she said I forget someone asked if she was a man or she's like not a man, and they're all like, "Oh, thank God!" And she's like, "Y'all really think I'm a man? Or I look like a man?"
She was like, I'm offended that y'all weren't so
Yeah.
surprised by it.
"Oh yeah, yeah."
Yeah. That was
And,
crazy that they just completely were willing to go with it. And it's like, wow. Because they
Yeah,
were
and
all
there's, like-
confessing a bunch of stuff. Like, yeah.
Yeah, there's like another scene that I'm kind of blanking on right now that I enjoyed, but Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like a
that's
that's like a nice scene. I mean, it was like decent. It was a point where like I won't say I didn't need it, but I feel like it didn't really elevate a lot to the movie. I mean, and this kind of seemed like that moment where like a lot of movies go where you try. It's like even if it's comedy, they try to have that like moment where you kind of make it calm.
mhm.
And I understand that, but for this case, even though I liked it, I don't know if it was really an important factor for the movie.
Right, right. I think one important factor for the movie that is happened in this scene, Lenny cancels the tickets to Milan
Yeah,
behind his whole family's back. And that's what I was saying. It's like, yes, things were going on the time crunch in this thing, and then they didn't actually end up being a factor. Like they set that up as like, oh man, they're gonna have to have this situation where they can and cannot go, or they gotta do all this and smash it all in for the family and then go. That never becomes a thing. It's
yeah,
set up as if it's gonna be a problem for them, and then they keep getting to it and then pushing it back until it eventually doesn't even matter. They never have to leave early at all.
and kind of a random question first. Is it ever like revealed like how many like days this is with them? Is it like a 4 day
I think
weekend?
it's set over 4 days.
Okay, so
I
yeah,
think.
4. Um,
I want to say it's 4, yeah. I think it is, what was it? I think they get there Friday. The funeral is also Friday. The 4th of July is either Sunday or Saturday. And then I think they do the basketball later. It's Monday. Anyways, let's get back to the synopsis. Lenny claims that he felt that their time at the lake house was necessary because the kids were becoming too spoiled, but was unsure if Roxanne would go along with it. He tells her that he won't lie again. Deanne confronts Kurt about flirting with Rita. Kurt assures that he wasn't flirting with her, but he enjoyed having an actual conversation because he doesn't get to feel that with Deanne. And then she offers to take him out on more dates. Eric then admits to the group that he wasn't. Yeah, we kind of went through all this. Yeah, just the admittings of everything. Gloria helps everyone reconcile. And then she just talks about the love between everyone. And yeah, this was, like you said, I think you said it about this one. This was just a really wholesome scene, kind of just ties because they're all having like marriage problems, family problems. This kind of gets rid of all of that before the actual climax scene. Because in other movies, them solving that would probably have been the climax scene where it's like, all right, that's the final problem that we solve. In this movie, it's a little different because they're like, no, we're gonna solve all this first, so then we can get to the higher stakes, more fun problem solving situation later.
yeah, we covered a lot of this, and yeah, it's a nice
Yep.
scene, and yeah, yeah.
Just a real nice, wholesome scene. And then,
So,
okay, on their okay, wait. You were just asking about the days. I think I'm right. This was
4.
Sunday or Monday?
Good days, the 4th of July weekend.
It's
So,
4th of July weekend,
so I guess
right?
like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that would make the most sense if you say it's a weekend. So
Right, yeah. So on their last day at the lake house, the group then heads off to the 4th of July barbecue, where they're once again challenged by Dickie and his friends for the rematch at the basketball game.
Yeah, let me
And they're
just say
all there now.
Yeah, let me point out the names: Dickie, Real Big Dicks, Bugsby, Chardio, and Malcolm. I love Malcolm. And I guess Dickie too is like the one normal names there. Like the detail that I really enjoy. And this is where we see Tim Meadows, and
We
we also
see
see
Tim Meadows.
Steve.
He has the whole group
Fully,
now.
yeah, Walter Meadows, and we see Steve Buscemi fully patched up. Where he's again a very wide position. I love the space comment. Like, hey,
full body
why?
cast.
Yeah, and all the space comment saying like, why? Where's MCA? And he's confused, huh? And he's like, oh, I get it now. I thought that was a nice moment there.
Yes, yes. I think it was crazy, but now the whole group is all here. Everybody gets to be a piece of this now. I thought we saw it earlier, but no, they're all here. It's going crazy. They're at the basketball game. They challenge them. And again, he had already said no to this, but now that it's all stakes, everybody's here, they got to do it. They're like, well, we got to do it. We got to play the basketball game. They do it. Obviously, he's in the huge cast. Rob suggests the coach would want them to take the challenge despite his own foot injury, which, like I said, lingers through the rest of the movie. So that's why they really do it. They all decide to do this basketball game.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like this big moment, like moment of truth, and like it's nice. And they cut to like different scenes of them younger pulling the exact moves. And I love the one scene where we go back to Steve, and he goes to mine like, "Hey, can I touch your baby?" and like, I want to touch him. Like, okay, sure. Yeah. Like that's my move. Like, oh, I like those too.
Yes, I like the little scene between Tim and Chris. These are my white people. I'm the only black guy in town.
And then it kind of reminded me of that one Key and Peele sketch. I'm not sure if you're aware of where.
Oh my gosh, the improv scene.
Yeah, that. Or they, for anyone that doesn't know, it's like Jordan Peele plays like a acapella guy with four other white dudes, and Keegan appears as a new black guy in this all white acapella group, and then they act as white as possible when they're with them, but when they're alone, they act as ghetto as L, and it's absolutely.
And then at the end,
and these are not white boys.
And as a black guy that's been in a lot of improv scenes, very accurate. Sometimes you get in those situations in improv that comes in at the end, and I think one infiltrates the other one's group. And it's very silly. Yeah, and because I'm sure that the Tim Meadows and Chris Rock character know this.
Slowly I began to realize that when white people are alone, they give things to each other for free.
As the only two black guys in that town. So
kind of like what this scene was is Adam I guess is kind of thinking of, should I take this shot? Should I win it? Should I lose it? And
Lenny and his friends agreed to the rematch, right?
Yeah.
Against Dickie, Robinu, Musby, Tardio, and Malcolm. The game accumulates, and Lenny and Greg facing Dickie and his son. And like you were saying, Lenny misses the last shot because he sees that Dickie's family is like pretty down bad. Like it's almost like punching up versus punching down. He knows that he's a rich guy. He lives in LA. He lives in a mansion. He's got this beautiful wife. He's got this beautiful family. And he sees Dickie. He's like, these guys are pretty down bad. They live in God knows where, New England. They're not financially as stable as them. He's like, listen, it would be better off if I let these guys win. I have everything, and they don't not have nothing, but they have significantly less than him. So really, he's the bigger person when letting them win, and he's like, oh, why not?
Yeah, he isn't like a reason to like let them win, like let them feel it, which I think is very
let them feel.
Nice.
I mean, I think he also teaches his own son humility. I think.
Yeah, they bring like Lenny brings his son and Dickie brings his son in there together, and there's like one scene where the cross-eyed guy and Kevin they try to fake an injury, which I thought was very funny in the basketball scene. So yeah, like a very nice scene, and him like losing again, I feel showed his character, which I think was very integral for Adam Sandler's character.
Yeah, I think it really showed that he was a wholesome guy, a good dad, and all this. And then final scene of the movie, I believe it is the family watches the 4th of July fireworks. Lenny tells Roxanne that he let them win. She's very impressed by that. And that, again, it would show his own family some humility. Perfect way for this movie to end. Marcus shows up with the bow and arrow again and plays arrow roulette, but with this huge crowd of people. Like, basically everyone in town is at this basketball game. He shoots that shit up in the air. It's just complete chaos. It's a madhouse. Everybody runs away. It's insane. And of course, Steve Buscemi Wiley, who can't run away, he's in a full body cast, catches the arrow through the foot and then
Yeah,
passes out just like Rob Schneider's did, and that's how the movie ends.
yeah, and it's absolutely just so crazy.
Oh yeah.
He's like, move, like, oh no, and it happens to land right exactly where Rob got
right in the same foot.
Right in the foot. Right in the foot.
Yeah, it's a very chaotic way to end this movie. You would think this movie might end on like that wholesome note and it's fun and nice. No, we end on possibly the craziest way this movie could have possibly ended.
In a way, I feel like it's kind of fitting for the movie.
It is kind of
what we've
fitting,
seen
yeah.
for it. But yeah, that is Grown Ups.
That is Grown Ups, where basically they all show that they are not grown ups.
Yeah, and I also want to point out during the one scene where the ladies were checking out the guy, the dude's name was Alex Musser, and unfortunately, I believe a year or two ago, he unfortunately passed away to suicide. So rest in peace to him at age of 50. But yeah, so yeah, that's the movie, and
that's the movie.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
This was
Should we
a lot
rate
of
it
fun.
or something? Should we rate it, or should we have a special way of rating?
I don't know if we'll rate it. I think
or probably not.
I was
We don't have a
disappointed
special
to
way.
see that this only had like a 10 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I remember seeing
that
like
hit me right in the face, dude. Like, again, this was a huge movie for my experience of the 2010s, huge piece of my teens. I can't believe it only had a 10 on. I was losing my. I was like, what? When I first saw it, I was in shambles.
Yeah, I feel like that's just kind of the case for Adam Sandler movies. I feel like he's like such a divisive dude. Where
we always know the critics don't always rate comedy properly, but I mean, in my heart, this movie was huge. It was great then. It was great now. I loved it. So
yeah, like overall, for my first time, I thought it was a very, very nice movie. I was kind of a little disappointed because I thought maybe just kind of how it was built, I thought it'd be like a lot more. But like I said, once like the daughters are coming in and they're like looking at her butt, I felt that was like the scene where I was like, okay, I'm seeing like these characters and seeing how stupid they are, and I felt we definitely had that path for like a while, and like the last two scenes I thought were just okay. So yeah, overall, I'd say this is definitely a decent movie. I feel like fine is just like whatever, but decent is like whatever, but worth watching. Definitely something I would still recommend to see like what someone else thinks of this, and definitely check out this movie.
Check out this movie. I will say one more thing.
Late '90s SNL, it's a place to go to.
It is a great one for SNL. I will say there's one more thing. We do got to talk about how it expanded things a little past this. I think this is the one that brought. See, because to me, to a lot of people, Adam Sandler is a very 90s thing. To a lot of people, 90s, early 2000s. I think this one brought him into a whole new generation.
Yeah,
because I was too young to have seen Billy Madison, to have seen Little Nicky, to have seen Happy Gilmore. I didn't see a lot of those. Yeah. And I didn't even see Longest Yard until I was like grown. So for this to bring him into that for my generation was a huge deal. And I think it stuck through the whole 2010s. And I had seen Chris Rock a little earlier than that, but I think it did the same for a lot of the actors in that movie. So it brought them to the younger millennials generation in ways that we couldn't have access to before. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And so that's what this does for the legacy.
Yeah, and do you feel like if this was made a little earlier, Farley would be in Kevin's role?
Oh my God, I do think he would have. I thought about that too.
I feel like it's probably definitely a discussion for a lot of SNL fans, and
if Chris Farley had lived, I'm almost certain that if not in Kevin's role, he's definitely in this movie somewhere.
It seems kind of fitting, and yeah.
But yeah, hell of a movie, hell of a SNL movie. Glad we could get it all together. And hell of a first episode, Victor. I'm so glad we could get this together. You can find me at he_gentleman on Instagram, and I guess you can read my Substack, Johnny Dragon 88 on Substack.com.
Yeah, and you can follow me at Amalive00000 on Instagram, as well as Amalive419 on Twitter. And most recently, you could check me out on Saturday Night Ladies, an SNL podcast from the latest perspective from our good friends Deej Barons, Demi Colatina, and Shari Fesco, where I discuss Melissa McCarthy SNL sketches. As of this recording, she is soon to be hosting SNL, and definitely something that me and Johnny are definitely excited for. And yeah, can't wait to see how that turns out. And yeah, great first episode here.
Hell yeah, great first episode. Also, I'm at Oversimplified Productions on YouTube. You ever want to catch this? And obviously, you'd be here because this is where the podcast is recording. So hopefully, we can catch you another time on Not Ready for Popcorn Players. Have a good night. And again, great first episode.